We are back with a new episode of the Agent P Show. Your host here, Phillip Salem, or as everyone calls me, Agent P. I am your NYC and LA-based real estate agent known as hashtag the Bi-Coastal Baddie, now at the podcast where all are welcomed. An agent in the streets with a podcast with all the deets. I know it's cheesy, but let me go with it. Thank you so much for tuning in. This episode is titled The Beauty Standards in the Queer Community. And my next guest is a New York-based hairstylist, beauty expert, content creator, and creative consultant whose mission is to de-genderize and demystify the beauty space. Their content serves as a beacon for inclusivity, transparency, supporting others on their journey towards feeling good by informing and inspiring. The resume is long, people. Let me just go with it. Their celebrity clientele has included Ashley Graham, Chrissy Teigen, and Hailey Bieber. They have served as brand ambassador and spokesperson for brands like T3 Micro, Ulta Beauty, Diva Curl, and Bumble and Bumble. I'm not done. They are currently the creative lead at Ulta Beauty as a creative consultant to a variety of beauty brands, host of the Ulta Beauty podcast, The Beauty Of, and have been featured in numerous press publications such as In Style and Nylon Mag. That is a big resume, people. Citizens of the world, David Lopez. Here we are. Was that like an illustrious introduction?
I was like, you could have just said he puts wigs on for a living.
No, definitely not.
No, yeah, thank you. When you hear it all back, you kind of get a little bit, whoa, especially, understanding like where I come from. And I'm always checking in with myself about, where I was in 2003 when I first moved here to where I am now. So when I hear those things back, sometimes it kind of hits me because I think, we live in New York City, and I think you understand this. We're just like, go, go, go. It's like,
nonstop.
I could win a Grammy, and then the next day I'm like, what's the next thing I'm going to win? What's the next thing I'm going to get? So, yeah, to hear all back, thank you for introducing me
that was my
that
first
way.
question. Like, how does that make you feel hearing that? And do you put pressure on yourself to continue becoming, like, I feel like you are one of those people that I know that truly never stops. Like, how does that make you feel to hear all that?
I feel very proud of myself.
Yeah.
I think there was a part of my life where I hear that back and my ego was happier more happy about it than I think my spirit was. Now I hear those things back and I think of all the sacrifices I've made. I think of all of the risks I took and many, many risks that people don't know that really landed me flat on my ass. I was homeless at one point. I, put myself through school. I really did a lot of things on my own. And so to hear those things back, I think now being almost 40 years old and being in just a different emotional space, I hear a lot of the things. I'm like, wow, you did that, like patting your back, but wow, like that was really hard.
You made it through the rain.
Yeah, I really did. Yeah, I really did.
Before we get into this hot topic conversation that I want to talk about, I just want to talk about how we met. And there's a picture of us that I just want to show the people. There's a great picture that's going to show up right now. Look how cute we are.
Oh my God.
That's at
We're
one of my
hot,
parties,
honestly.
Right? Tan, gorgeous.
Yeah.
I always call you the pant queen because you have the best pants in the game. And today I'm doing this chartreuse pant. And now look, we're matching.
I mean, we always kind of a similar vibe. I think that's what really, I think, attracted us to each other. And I think that is really why social media is important. I talk about this a lot to people who lament about social media being this kind of like, makes me feel depressed. It makes me feel less than. I'm like, you know what? Social media gives you what you give it. Yeah. And when I'm looking for community, I find it. You and I found each other through that way. It's like you see something in that other person. And so even seeing that photo of us and just being here with you, I'm like,
I love it. I love it. I think when one of the things that I was attracted to you on social media, I was like, this person is like me. It's hard to find people that are like me, be an influencer and be so popular, but also do it in their own way and in an authentic way. So I was like, I gotta DM them and I have to hang around you. So you came to one of my first parties, and parties for me are like my armor. I feel like I can wear dresses and like wear my heels. And I was wearing heels once, and there's a video that's gonna play. I was wearing heels and I was so excited. You literally walked in the door. If you guys can play the clip right now. I walked in the door and then fell flat on my face. It was like, and then you walked in and I was like, I think I ran to you, but it was a moment. Yeah, this clip right here, they're going to play it. I was like, but I felt inspired to wear this look because of you. And then look at this. I just it was a mess. And I saw you. Like, I'm like getting hot and heated even looking at this because it's
I'm
like,
obsessed.
I'm a mess.
Honestly, it's wild to me is that in my own presentation of my kind of gender expression, seeing other people express it, I feel empowered by it. And then when I hear that I have in some way inspired them, I'm like, girl, you're doing it bigger than me. Like, I feel like I am very fluid in like my expression where I really run the gamut. And I think I also lens it through safety. There are times I don't feel as safe to do it. And I'm very much like a risk averse person. I have been assaulted multiple times in New York City and I've been here for 20 years. So I'm a little more scared to present, you know, more femme, I think, in public spaces. But to your point, your parties are your armor. They're your safe space.
Yeah. And it's like the people that I feel safe around. And I think we're going to dive into it a little bit, but I feel my hope is that people like us and people watching that are queer or just want to be gender expressive and be in a space where they feel welcome, where this unsafetiness is not even a conversation anymore. You know, but before we get into those deep moments, I want to, you know, ask you about your mantra, which is degenderizing and demystifying the beauty space. You know, what does this mean to you, and how do you want it to affect the people who are influenced by you?
Yeah, I think degenderizing and demystifying the beauty space really is born from something that's even more of my mantra, which is I'm here to help you feel good. I got to a place in my career where I had done all these celebrities and all of these covers and all the things that people aspire to be and what they want to look like. But I felt like I was in some way perpetuating the same feelings that I got when I was in high school, opening up the pages of Allure and beauty magazines, that I didn't see myself represented. It felt, you know, exclusive to a certain type of person. So I was like, you know what? Social media is a great opportunity to, or media in general is a great opportunity to kind of democratize these spaces and make people feel seen. So really, I'm not in the business of selling things, even though we monetize and capitalize, you know, social media.
Gotta make money.
Yeah, I gotta live, you know, I need the resource.
It's passionate to you.
Exactly.
You know?
And I felt like I'm here to help you feel good. When you demystify and degenderize a place that feels like it's not for you, and I mean that across every spectrum, because I don't want the guy from Kansas that uses Axe to also, if you feel good and you feel positive using it, then use it.
That's
like,
how I feel.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think we need to make everything so just like.
To go back to this Kansas person wearing Axe.
Yeah.
I am in real estate, and this is how I show up to appointments.
Yeah.
And I have been called the most ridiculous names by other brokers or from the listing agent buyers that are coming in. They don't believe that I'm an agent. They're like, who are you? Like, why are you here? People have said that I'm wearing costumes. People have made fun of the way that I present myself with my hair or my nails. By the way, the nails are sitting.
Oh, the nails are sitting. Don't look mine, but yeah, there's my have a little sparkle.
The nails are sitting.
Which is my camera. Put a little sparkle, yeah.
But I hear people, straight, gay, whatever gender they want to identify as, say, I wish I could dress, I wish I had the confidence as you. And I want to say, you can. You can be whoever and dress however you want to be, as long as it's something that you feel good about inside. So straight guy wants to wear shorts and a see-through t-shirt to dinner or lunch or client meeting, go for it. Like, why should that, you know, hold somebody back? I know I have been in this space, and I'm sure you have too, where we get denied from restaurants or we get denied from places because of how we're presenting. And I'm like, bitch, I am happy. I'm bringing positivity to your restaurant, or I'm bringing positivity to your location. So I don't know if you can tell me something that has happened to you where you've been like, why is this happening to me just for showing up as my authentic self?
I mean, I'm, first of all, as a brown person, I exist in it already, like as a brown person. Aside from being queer, I think having my hair texture, having my skin color, and I'm on a lighter spectrum in terms of when I get into the subject of colorism. But I mean, even yesterday, I'm checking in to Delta One, and I walk past the agent and say hello, and this other guy who's like doing the person who's doing the tagging, he's like, sir, this is for first class, and I kind of ignore him. I was like, okay, and he keeps saying it. He was like, this is for. I was like, yeah. He was like, you have to check in over there. I was like, I'm in Delta One.
Yeah.
I have been in a hotel. This is at the. I'm gonna call him out. I was at the Proper in Santa Monica, and I'm waiting outside, dressed like in my little work outfit, looking cute, and this lady pulls up her car. This person pulls up their car, And they get out and they're like, oh, do I park my car here? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't work here. If I'm in a Zara, forget it. Everyone thinks they work at Zara. Like if I'm in a Zara, everyone's like, can I get this in a size? I'm like, girl.
I think with the person who's saying you can't go in Delta 1, I know I felt this way where I'm not good enough to be in Delta 1. I am not good enough to have success. I don't deserve success because of the trauma that I've had in my past. Constantly bullied. I just had a major therapy session. I had to pull over the side of the road because something came up where I remember, and it's so corny, but I want to give myself the validation here, where in 3rd grade, I remember in gym class, all the people were calling me sissy, and Phillip uses the girls' bathroom. Phillip only hangs around girls. Phillip's a girl. I'm in 3rd grade. Like, what am I supposed to do at this point? And that trauma is coming up to me now. So I feel like it still is, why do I feel insecure to be successful? Why do I feel like I'm not good enough to be in first class? Why do I feel like I can't walk into this restaurant exactly how I feel? You know, so I don't know, do you feel the same way sometimes, or do you have a different experience?
Yeah, no, I think that's why I have the success I have, honestly. I think I think any marginalized person has to overcompensate for their attributes that they're naturally born into. So you have to, I feel like, even in my spaces and corporate spaces, I learned how to use the word KPI, and I learned how to talk about, you know, all the corporate slogan. I learned that in certain spaces, I had to, for lack of a better terminology, you know, co-opt myself or code switch to gain access to these spaces that are much more easily given to other people. I wouldn't go into a corporate meeting with a buyer, right? Well, I would now, but back then I wouldn't have in the way I'm dressed right now. They would have been like, oh, what does he know? Where now I think that this is the tea though. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Give us the real tea. I have to let people know that unfortunately we're not there yet. And there are ways that we cannot escape the game that is life right now. I'm not gonna change it. I'm just not. So if I'm gonna dress like this, if I'm gonna do it all, like I'm gonna do it like this. And it's I hate to say that because listen, there's a part of it that's access and resources. I get it. But at the end of the day, I can't boo-hoo about how I'm treated when the world isn't there yet. I allow myself to feel the feeling. That sucks.
I need this advice.
That sucks. But then I also think, but this is the conditioning that we all live in. This is not something that I can expect a stranger to live in my bubble of reality yet.
But I also feel like you cannot stop progress.
No,
if you look at where we've come, you cannot stop progress. So if there's people listening or watching right now and you're in this, I don't know, feeling of not wanting to do something or not wanting to express yourself in a certain way, you have to remember there is hope.
Well, that's why I think it's important for me now that I have access and resource that I give it back to others. Because I don't want people coming up behind me to have to experience that. So I think people like you and I and people that have resources and have a platform, it's important we use it. I don't think every brown, queer person, marginalized person has to be the beacon of everything. But if I chose this life, I put myself on social media, I have a platform, I'm going to use it. I
started this show because I felt like there was a missing niche of people that are like us. Queer energy, flamboyant. I talk a certain way. I used to hate my voice because I felt like I sounded like a girl or I sounded too gay. I love my voice now. I didn't want to show myself like this because I was embarrassed. But I'm like, this is how I feel. This is the armor that I'm wearing. This is what I feel so confident in. And I just feel like I'm not naming names and I'm all about giving people their props for doing a show. But the queer people that are on TV right now are very heteronormative to me, wearing suits and ties. And I've seen some of these people out and they're not doing that. They're not giving this energy, but I feel like they are making it seem a certain way for networks, or that execs are still telling them how to dress and how to act. Don't say things a certain way, don't look a certain way because you might lose ratings. So I just want to say thank you to you because you have inspired me so much to get out of my shell. I remember 3 years ago, I would remove my nails before going on a big appointment. I would dye my hair black, just to go on an appointment. I would wear a collar. I don't wear any collared shirts anymore. But I was doing that, and I'm like thankful to you because you have that platform and you have inspired me. And now we're here. Thank you for being on my little show.
Oh my God!
We still have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Very sweet. Oh my God. Yeah. Again, it's all reciprocal. I think it all feeds into each other. So you inspire me too.
So I think just to go back to the title of this episode, I want to talk about this question, how do you define beauty in a more positive light rather than an unattainable way? Because I feel like we see the magazines and we see these things, like, what is a more attainable way to feel the beauty, or like what is a mantra that you have for people listening or watching?
It can be very nuanced about what makes you feel beautiful, but really what is beauty is what makes you feel powerful, what makes you feel confident.
Yes.
And I think that's really what it is. There are people that their whole beauty routine consists of washing their face, putting on lotion, and that's it. And they're gorgeous. And it's not because of their features it's literally because they just are confident in that.
Yeah,
I'm like, I love that feeling that I get when I'm around them.
Yeah.
If I get that feeling of goodness and confidence from putting on a little more mascara than my neighbor over there and putting on a wig, but you're around me and you feel my confidence and you feel my happiness, it's born from a real place, that's going to transfer onto you.
Exactly.
In some capacity.
And it's like, there are days, why does everything have to be all or nothing?
Right.
There are days like today, I want to give full glam, I want to give big hoops, I want to give a lot of color, and I'm so happy we're matching, unplanned.
If you're not watching, what are you doing? You should be watching.
But I feel like there are some days where I'm like, I feel so sexy in this like oversized hoodie, and even like the underwear that I'm wearing that nobody's gonna see except my husband. Like, I'm like, this is for me. Or like, I'm gonna stay home all day and get my hair and nails done and just be off social media, be off work for a week because I feel good about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm the same. And this is like, if anyone follows me on social, you know that it's many days in a baseball cap, and I go through cycles of like moderate to severe like cystic acne, and I just got over it. So if you ever see me not posting for like a month, it's because I'm having a really intense breakout, and I'm just like too ashamed to like post. So I'm just like, I don't do it.
Well, I'm looking at you now and you're glowing. If you're watching.
Tretinoin, girlies. Go to a dermatologist, get some tretinoin, burn the top layer off.
I want to get a little bit deep because you posted something, one of your more recent posts, which we're going to watch right now. It touches on the topic of online bullying in the queer community. When you have moments of self-doubt and self-hate or that noise creeps in, what do you do to get yourself out of it? Before you answer that question, I just want to play the clip.
Never gets any less scary for me to leave my home dressed like this. Never. Comments like this are quite literally why sometimes queer people are afraid to ever express themselves, because they know that their truth will be seen as a mental illness. And if mental illness means I'm happier, I'm living in my truth, and I ain't bothering nobody, then baby, I think I'll keep it.
You look gorgeous in the video, by the way.
Gracias, gracias.
But yeah, just to repeat my question again, this was an online bullying. How do you talk yourself out of this or get yourself out of this space? Because I hear it all the time too. Like, and I'm sure we are strong. I know you're strong, but the people that are listening or watching might not have that confidence that we do. What can you speak on that?
Well, I think the first step for me was separating the experience away from my value or my worth. I'm very much a proponent for therapy. I have a psychologist and a psychiatrist. I've been in therapy since I was 11. Like, it's something that I had to really work on. I really did a lot of deep diving in the last specifically 2 years because I get comments like that all the time. I just some days I have the time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's a daily occurrence. But when it first started happening, I kind of was like really like amped up by it. I was like, oh, you thought the first thing that really popped off was on TikTok in 2020 when I said real men wear makeup. The way people acted like I said, though, like everyone's infants should be like, I was like, what? I just said real men wear makeup, and people were like, real men don't. I'm like, oh, let's talk about it more. The more I get, the more I want to talk about it. I will tell you that once I separated their anger from the reality of this space, I realized a couple of things. One was that their anger really is born from their unrecognized anger at themselves for having to adjust to a system that maybe they don't like. They're like, how dare this person not adjust to the ways that I've had to learn? In the same way, like, you're taught how to be a boy, you're taught how to be a man. All these other men are like, well, I did it. How come you're not doing it? How dare you not fall into the same system?
But I feel like this goes to the question that I was going to ask, the heteronormative expectations that we have been taught our entire life. people are constantly saying the queer community is grooming them. Bitch, I was groomed by the hetero community.
Yeah.
Literally. We're watching Little Mermaid when I'm 6 years old, and I'm like, this girl is desperate for this guy. We are watching men and women kiss on TV. I remember when I saw Dawson's Creek for the first time, and they kissed, two men kissing. I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. But I feel ashamed.
Oh, I was like, oh my, I thought it was gross. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's not supposed to be happening.
Exactly. But I just feel like this heteronormative expectation that we have for people, like, why can't just people just live and be how they want to?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think we are taught a lot of these things very early on. And I think that as queer people, when they get that that hate, it's really hard. I will tell you, there was an experience I had where I got a level of hate that went pretty viral. Candace Owens tweeted me. I didn't experience. How many things can I get away with saying? There's a lot of NDAs around here. I hosted something, and I had a guest on that basically is very viral in their sharing of their trans experience. And the episode went very viral in the right-wing space, and the episode was called The Beauty of Girlhood. And essentially, right-wing people are like, what do these two men, first of all, I do identify as a man, but my guest does not, know about what it is to be a girl? And that's not what the episode was about. However, the level of hate that I got from the people that made me feel most safe, cis women, was really unnerving for me. It was really unnerving to have the community that I have felt the most safe with my entire life. I have never felt safe around cis men, ever. I've always felt safe around cis women. That truly sent me into even deeper therapy, then I had to really unpack a lot of things there. One, I had to check my ego and say to myself, okay, this cis woman's anger is not about me. Right? Number one. Number two, I had to say your anger is valid. I don't need to be the vessel for it, and I'm not the vessel for it. But your anger is valid. But do not make me the vessel. Do not make queer people the vessel for your misplaced anger at all.
Run me through why her anger is valid. And do you feel like you have this responsibility to educate people? And like, do you give them a few minutes? And if they don't, like,
if you come at me direct
Yeah.
with some facts, I'll give you all the space in the world.
Okay.
If you're respectful, I'll hear you out.
Okay.
I will fully hear you out. With this particular situation, I realized a couple of things. That cis women really are mad for a lot of valid reasons because they are subjected to a lot of things that they have a lot. Their bodies are policed. They are suffering from the same level of misogyny that queer people. Misogyny affects all of us.
It does.
Misogyny really affects all of us. The patriarchy affects all of us. It's just that when they see someone adopting what they are told is put onto them, like cis women are like, you need to be beautiful, wear makeup, wear lashes, wear heels. And like, I don't want to. And then I'm out here being like, I feel femme with my lashes. Like, well, that's not what feminine is. And I'm like, okay, that's fair, but both can be true, girl. Like, relax. I have never told you need to wear heels or you could literally go out there with your unbrushed, frizzy ass hair. I don't care. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like,
And it's like, if you're happy doing that, you're happy doing that. If you're happy doing this, let me be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I want to always end the episode on a light note.
Yeah.
We had a lot of great conversations. But just so people get to know a little bit more about you, I always like to end with Philly's 5.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about your 5 favorite things. So we're going to talk about your favorite singer.
This is a really hard one. I'm so sorry because I like all types of music. But I will say the one that gives me the most, I think, like history of voice from being a kid is probably Celine Dion.
She has a new Amazon.
She does?
Yeah, it was released today, the trailer, an Amazon like documentary.
Oh my God, I'm praying for her every day. Like I think one of my most vivid memories of being a young gay boy was I was singing one of her songs so loud in my room. And it was like me screaming, "'Cause I'm your lady."
I'm not gonna sing.
I'm like 9 years old. My dad burst in the room. He's like, "You are nobody's lady." And I was like,
but I am.
But I am. But I just like her voice, even at 9, gave me such like when she says the slamming of the door, I was just like, oh, like I really felt it. It's the drama and the voice. Like, oh, come on. What
are your kids' names? Your babies?
My dog babies?
Yes.
Okay. I have a rescue dog, Hugo, and a Jack Russell named Anna.
Oh, they're so cute. I love them.
Yeah.
I have a picture of us with my 2 dogs, and I think they wanted to go home with you.
Oh my God,
This is
I
at
was
my-
obsessed with them.
If they play it. There they are.
Oh my God.
How cute are
And
they?
my boyfriend,
Yes,
so cute.
There he is.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with them.
And then just, tell me your morning and evening routine in 30 seconds or less.
Morning routine, I open my eyes.
Yeah.
I always have one quick moment of gratitude where I say,
Yeah.
another day to make this happen, another day, another chance to be happy.
Yes.
And then my skincare. And then my nighttime routine.
Yep.
I always like to wind down with YouTube. I don't know. I have to watch something
What are you
educational
watching?
and weird. I watch a lot of like 48 Hours, or I watch like the history of like, Jordan, or I like to learn. I'm like a student of life. So I love to go on YouTube and watch like a Vice 20-minute documentary about like something going on in South America, or I watch like something about quantum physics and like how it relates to real life. Like I do that.
I'm the creep that's like under my covers watching Mariah Carey videos all night, 3, 4 a.m.
I do watch a lot of K-pop videos.
Right? You love K-pop.
I'm obsessed with K-pop. Yeah.
I mean, it's our thing. But anyways, David, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. Before we leave, I'd love to give you some flowers courtesy of Pop-Up Florist. Pop-Up Florist is a female-owned company creating feel-good flowers with innovative designs. And all those tuning in, you get a discount at popupflorist.com by using coupon code the Agent P Show at checkout. Pop-Up Florist ships nationwide. David, these are for you.
These are
They're
so.
gorge.
I love flowers.
So
Don't cut the cameras. Keep them on. Keep them on the flowers. Keep them on the flowers.
before we leave, give the people one moment to leave with. Just anything, a word of inspiration, a mantra, anything. It's your moment for one sentence to give the people.
Find something that you can do every day that helps you feel good. Because when you feel good, you spread that feeling of goodness onto others, and we really need that right now in this world.
And that is a beautiful way to end the show, people. To continue following their journey, follow them on IG at David Lopez. That's David Lopez with 3 Z's on the end. Thank you for listening, and catch you on the next episode of The Agent P Show. Mwah.
Bye.
Thank you so much, honestly.
So fun. Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
This is so sweet.